Alex, what was your first reaction when you had heard the news about Yogi?
I heard late last night. Obviously very sad. Yeah, very sad day.
Most about him.
I would remember a lot. I mean, started in 2004, prior to being a New York Yankee. One of the reasons why I wanted to come to play in New York is for people like Yogi and the legacy that he made here in New York. Obviously, the 10 championships, 3 MVPs, 18 All-Stars. You go on, but what he meant not only to the Yankees in baseball, but truly an American icon.
Throughout the years, did you learn anything from him? Did you take anything away from your time with him?
I mean, he was just always so generous with his time. I mean, one of the great things about spring training in Tampa back in those days was to get an opportunity to sit down with him for breakfast or lunch. And you had that great privilege maybe half a dozen times. But what was also amazing about Yogi is how small he was in stature, but literally what a big bat he swung, and what a big impact he made in baseball and outside of baseball.
Alex, do you remember the first circumstances of the first time that you met him and talked to him? I mean, it must have been your first spring down there.
No, I met Yogi probably at some MVP dinners, Anthony, and also maybe some sports writers in New York. There was several times where I met him, very short, very informal. I remember how excited it was, what a privilege, and how generous he was with his time. But obviously getting to know him post-204 and spring training was a time to bond. I do remember prior to 2009, the postseason and playing Minnesota, he said, I have a good feeling about this year, kid. I have a good feeling about the team, and I have a good feeling about you. I have one advice. If there's a fork in the road, take it. So I did.
Alex, ¿qué significó Yogi para los Yankees de Nueva York y para ti personalmente?
Bueno, Yogi de verdad es una leyenda, no solamente de los Yankees, pero de la pelota y de la historia americana. Un gran hombre, pequeño en tamaño, pero grande en todo lo que hizo. Una persona que es muy especial en muchas razones.
Alex, he was before your time as a player, but what did you know about him as a player?
He was a 10-time world champion, and he played for the New York Yankees. And he was the leader of the Yankees. I mean, studying him a little bit, I marveled at how small he was and how he was able to, hit the ball out of the park and be a switch hitter and do so many great things. And when you see him and how small he was and what a big impact he made, I think that's what I'll remember. The other thing is, if Yogi was here today, I don't think he would want us all to mourn in this day. I think he would want us to play with joy, celebrate his 90 years, and be happy and go about his day celebrating his great life.
People have talked about how he didn't seem to have much of an ego about those accomplishments. What do you remember about how he carried himself?
I would agree with that. I mean, he was known as much for his 10 championships and Hall of Fame career and a 3-time MVP with his sense of humor and wit. And that's pretty cool. Every room he walked into, the room light up. Everyone became a better person because of it. And look, with me, with all the craziness here with me in New York, and every spring it was a different story about me, he was always consistent and steady and supportive and constructive, and I really appreciate that.
Alex, you're one of the few guys on this team who probably had some contact with him regularly. What would you say to kind of what is enduring about him that is going to carry on to Yankee players that haven't met him and in the future?
It's hard to describe Yogi unless you met him and spent time with him and really understood his warmth and felt his warmth. So witty, so funny, so full of great histories and stories. But Yogi's synonymous with Yankee and Yankee history, and I think that's what he's going to be remembered for the most.
And what's the most meaningful Yogi story that to you?
I think it was the one before 2009, before the postseason. I thought it was good timing. I thought it was something that I needed to hear, and it was great hearing it from Yogi, and it meant a lot to me. And throughout that process, in the playoff run in the World Series, I often thought about his words of wisdom and kind words of support.
Alex, not that you guys need any more incentive, to win today, but how special would it be to win on a day like today to celebrate Yogi's, legacy with the Yankees?
Yeah, like I said, I think Yogi would want us to go out and play and win and have fun and play with passion and joy, and just like he would play. So it would be very special to get a win for him today.